Despite a complicated and traumatic childhood that marked the rest of his life, Musk managed to leave his past behind, focusing on the future instead. His life has been full of ups and downs, and in this video, we will bring into the spotlight Elon's early life, which most people aren't aware of, as well as the first major projects that shaped the entire life of Elon Musk. Before we start, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell button to turn on notifications. Elon Reeve Musk was born on June 28, 1971 in Pretoria, Transvaal, South Africa, to a Canadian model May Haldeman and South African father Elon Musk, who was an electromechanical engineer, pilot, sailor, consultant, and properly developer named. Elon lived a quiet and happy life in the suburbs of Pretoria, with his two siblings, Kimball and Tosca. However, their father was abusive to May, beating her and addressing her as stupid, boring, and ugly on a daily basis. The kids, though, wouldn't realize that until Elon and Kimball moved to live with Errol, after their parents' divorce around 1980. Only then, the boys knew the existence of their father's dark side. Elon subsequently became distant from him, especially that he did not provide any kind of support to his sons. Elon once described his father as a terrible human being. Almost every evil thing you could possibly think of, he has done. Not only that Musk had a traumatic childhood at home, but he was also considered as a misfit and an introverted child who was constantly bullied by a group of boys, causing him to be hospitalized once after being thrown down the stairs. But despite this unhappy childhood, Elon created his own world, in which he saw himself belong. He used to own an 8-bit home computer, Commodore VEC-20, developing fondness and interest in computing, especially games, which motivated Musk to learn computer programming using a manual. At the age of 12, Elon managed to sell the code of a basic-based video game he created called Blastar to PC and Office Technology magazine for almost $500. This pretty much gave the young ambitious boy a glance into the future, but being in Africa, he had limited means. That's why he was determined to head to the land of opportunity by applying for a Canadian passport through his Canadian-born mother, knowing that it would be easier to enter the States from Canada. So after graduating from Pretoria Boys High School, and while awaiting for the documentation, Elon attended the University of Pretoria for 5 months, so as to avoid mandatory service in the South African military. Musk arrived in Canada in June 1989. He lived with a second cousin in Saskatchewan, working odd jobs at a farm and sawmill. A year later, Musk entered Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario. In 1992, he was able to achieve his goal of living in the US, transferring his studies to the University of Pennsylvania, from which he graduated in 1997 with double degrees in science and business. But bear in mind that Musk had a vision in his mind that he was willing to fulfill, and what better place than Silicon Valley to do so. Upon this, Musk held 2 internships there during the summer of 1994 at Pinnacle Research Institute, which investigated electrolytic ultracapacitors for energy storage, and at the Palo Alto-based startup Rocket Science Games. In 1995, Musk was accepted to a PhD program in energy physics materials science at Stanford University in California. He similarly applied for a job at Netscape, but never received a response to his job inquiries. And instead of waiting for a job opportunity to expose itself, Musk relied on the "if you can't get a job, create your own." Indeed, he decided to put his studies on hold so that he could focus on his career. In 1995, Musk and his brother Kimball founded a web software company called Zep2 with funds from a group of angel investors. They rented a small office in Palo Alto to house the venture. The company developed and marketed an internet city guide for the newspaper publishing industry, with maps, directions, and yellow pages. In other words, Elon tried to make useful things happen on the internet So he envisioned the future of traditional newspapers, from printed to electronic. But before the company's taking off, Musk couldn't afford both an apartment and an office, so he had to abandon the apartment. Another financial struggle that Musk and his business associates encountered was that they only had one computer. And according to Musk, the website was up during the day while he was coding at night, 7 days a week. Their efforts eventually obtained them contacts with the New York Times and the Chicago Tribune. The team kept the company running for 4 solid years, before they sold it to Compaq for $307 million in February of 1999. Musk received $22 million for his 7% in shares. So to recapitulate, Musk succeeded in turning his life upside down, from a man who used to sleep on his office couch to a millionaire. What's even more interesting than this, only a month after the sale, Musk co-founded X.com, an online financial services and email payment company. 1 year later, the company merged with Confinity, which was an American software company based in Silicon Valley. This merge later resulted in developing money transfer service to what it's known as PayPal in 2001. But Musk was already expelled in October 2000 from his role as CEO due to disagreements with other company executives, though remaining on the board of the company. In October 2002, PayPal was acquired by eBay for $1.5 billion in stock. Musk received $165 million for he owned 11.7% of PayPal's shares, the thing that made him the company's largest shareholder. In 2017, Musk repurchased the domain X.com from PayPal for an undisclosed amount of money, stating that it has a great sentimental value, proving to us that Zep2 and PayPal profoundly contributed to the Elon Musk we know today. This was the core of the rest of his pioneer companies, which we are going to talk about briefly. Tesla Motors. Musk actually joined Tesla in 2004. Not like what most people believe, Elon did not start Tesla Motors, but rather 2 engineers named Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. So between 2003 and 2004, Elon invested $6.3 million in Tesla stocks, appointing him to the position of its board of directors. In 2008, the company launched its first electric vehicle, the Tesla Roadster, which they had announced 2 years before. At the end of that year, the company was only a few days of bankruptcy, but was saved by the 11th Hour Funding, which is a non-profit organization that focuses on environmental advocacy and international development issues. So, despite the risks and all, Elon and his team are still determined to take Tesla to the horizons. And so far, Tesla has proved electric vehicles' efficiency and practicality, astounding us with some of the highly sophisticated features that mark the brand. And while putting so much effort into Tesla, Elon had his hands full with another ahead-of-its-time project, SpaceX, which started in 2002 and aims at making Mars possible in terms of traveling at the cheapest cost possible, approximately at $200,000, and in terms of living there permanently. This is Elon's top priority, as he stated, setting up in 2024 as a date of what he calls the journey of colonizing Mars. So when you look at it, the standards that this man is establishing for the future of humanity are way beyond the expectations. He keeps on surprising us with inventions that will pave the way and facilitate our life on different levels while considering environmental and social aspects, such as the Hyperloop, the Boring Company, and Solar City. That's it for today's video. This was a brief video about the all-in-one Elon Musk. We hope that we succeeded in presenting him to you, as well as pointing out some of the major aspects of Elon Musk's life. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more interesting videos. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.